Welcome to Your Yes Filled Life. I'm Brenda Winkle, energetic leadership guide, psychic medium, and somatic coach for ambitious leaders who know their gifts are real and who want to stand fully in them. Here, you'll learn how to trust your intuition, embody your vision, and step into the freedom you've been craving, all without chasing more certifications or carrying stuff that does not belong to you. Every week, I'll share powerful practices and conversations with thought leaders and changemakers that help you transform your vision into embodied confidence, claim your gifts without apology, and lead with both clarity and freedom. Because your gifts aren't cute, they are powerful, they're real, and they're needed. Start today by downloading my free energy audit at brendawinkle.com/audit. It's the exact tool I use to track what's fueling me and what's draining me. It will help you discern between that hit of achievement and true joy so that you can lead with more clarity and impact. This is your space to stop proving, start embodying, and live fully in your gifts. Welcome to Your Yes-Filled Life. Hello, and welcome to Your Yes-Filled Life. I'm your host, Brenda Winkle. Today on the podcast, we're going to do something that I have not yet done on a podcast episode, and that is I'm going to offer you some intuitive psychic guidance, and I'm going to be connecting with the angels to deliver this message. And I might be pulling on some cards. We'll see how things go. But when I tapped into the energy around what was it you most needed this week, this is what came through. You need some guidance. You need some encouragement. And so there's a couple things that are happening that I feel right now. I feel like tremendous heaviness in your heart space. And by the way, when I say this week, it's this week whenever you're listening. This is not a time dependent message. So this episode has found you at the perfect time, and you can trust that. And the beautiful thing about this type of a reading is that you don't have to control it. It doesn't have to be a specific date or time. Just trust that it's come to you at the perfect time for a reason. And also, this is a collective reading, meaning it's for the group of people who are listening and being drawn to the podcast. And so you might resonate with a lot, and there might be a couple things that you feel like, well, that doesn't fit. Don't make it fit. Because it's a collective reading, there might be one or two little details that you're like, well, that's not quite me. And that's okay. The larger message is for you, and you can trust that. So before I dive into this, I want to tell you that I have been doing this work for most of my life. I don't have a memory of when my gifts came online. I know that in first grade, that was the first time that I perceived fear from other people about my gifts because I could tell that something had happened with my first grade teacher and her husband. And it was like a fight or something. I could read the energy. And I remember going up to her and saying, hey, everything is going to be okay with you and Mr. I won't say her last name. Everything's going to be okay. And the look of sheer terror on her face made me afraid. And I thought that I had done something wrong. And in a way, I had, but we'll get to that in a second. I perceived that I was bad and wrong. And so I decided I would take all of my gifts underground and I wouldn't talk about the things that were coming through, the energy, the impressions, the knowledge. And instead, I would anticipate what people needed. And that was the beginning of my journey into becoming a world-class people pleaser. Because I could see, feel, sense, hear, and know what you needed before you even did. And so that is a recipe for a massive people pleaser. And if you're drawn to this podcast, there's probably part of my story that feels a little bit similar to yours. And then in 2015, or was it 2015 or 2014? Let me look. Okay, I'm looking at a certificate on the wall in my office. And so I became a Reiki Master in 2015. So it must have been 2014 that I discovered Reiki and really began to get trained in my gifts. Reiki was the training ground for me. It was the foundation with which everything else was built. And so I became a Reiki Master in 2015. I became a certified Angel Oracle card reader sometime probably later that same year. That's also when I began to study theta healing, which is the subconscious reprogramming, so we can move beliefs that are not serving you and shift them into beliefs that really do serve you. It's a really incredible form of healing that deals with the subconscious mind. It wasn't until later that I got trained in breathwork and IFS based somatic coaching. And so the work that I do now is to combine it all into this beautiful experience where I can read the energy, I can tap into the other side, I can speak with the angels and your spirit guides, I can tell what's happening with you. And that's one of the benefits of working with me is that I can track the things that you're not able to say or maybe even sense because I can see, feel, hear, taste, touch, smell, everything that's happening for you in a way maybe you can't. And, the interesting thing is the closer I am to somebody, the harder it is for me to read them. And so I do readings for my closest friends and family, but not professionally. Like I don't charge them because there is something that happens when they're really, really close to you. Anyway, that was a weird tangent. I don't know why that felt relevant, but it did. And so I began to give readings, card readings, like back in 2016. And I've been doing it ever since, but very much underground until recently. Like I'd pop out here and there and say, oh, here's a reading or there's a reading. But right now, I'm really embracing this part of me fully without any masking and just saying, yeah, I know a lot of things that are coming through the energy field, through your energy, through the guides, through your departed loved ones, through the angels. And so I'm feeling really called to step into this part of my work more boldly because I really believe that I'm meant to be a guide for you as you step into your gifts. And there's a part of me that honestly is saying in the background, Brenda, who do you think you are? So if you ever thought that, just know that that comes up for me too. And then I remember this is my sole purpose. This is my mission in life to lead you, the sensitive, intuitive, empathic, compassionate, into leadership because we need more of you in leadership, in positions of power. We need you with more money in your pockets so that you can make more decisions and finance the important things that need to be funded in our world so that we can have a more equal and equitable distribution of wealth and resources. That's my purpose. And so my own guidance has been I need to be more bold about this work that I'm doing because it's how I'm meant to serve. So I've been going live on TikTok pretty often over the last 2 weeks and really enjoying it over there. And I've even started offering one question mini readings, both in the TikTok lives and just through email, if that's better for you. So invitation to check those out. I'll put the links in the show notes. They're just really quick tap ins if you need just a little hit of guidance. And then if you want something longer, I do offer those in psychic clarity sessions. Those are 60-minute one-on-one Zoom sessions. And so those are available for you too. Now, let's dive into the message that's coming through this week. I asked, what did you most need to know? And I consciously was thinking it was going to be around the holidays. And I suppose it is, but what's really coming through is how you're approaching the month of December. So when I track your energy through the month of December, I can feel that you're putting a tremendous amount of pressure on yourself because you had a list of things that you wanted to accomplish or see completed at the end of December. And what I'm tracking is you've actually done so much more than you gave yourself credit for, but they're not the things that are the same on your list. So your list is driving you a little bit crazy right now because you are telling yourself really mean things about the things that didn't happen from the list, but you accomplished so much inner work. In fact, there's an energy of completion that's really present. And when I say energy of completion, this is a 9 year. And in numerology, what you do, like for a 9 year, it's 2025. So that would be 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. 9 is the energy of completion. And so we collectively, as a whole human race, the collective, well, and like the universe, the collective, we have all been completing a cycle. And we have astrology to back this too. There's a lot of astrological things that have happened this year that are really, really big that have been completing cycles, like 16-year cycles, 8-year cycles, 20-year cycles are complete and they're starting fresh again. So the energy of completion is around you. And I'm inviting you, and so is Spirit, to give yourself credit for all the things that you accomplished that are not on the list. And I'm tracking that you have done a tremendous job of growing personally. You've done the inner work. You've been doing a lot of healing. You've been facing a lot of your fears, and you're doing the things. So, congratulations. Give yourself credit for that. There's also an energy coming through that you are protected, you are guided. You can trust the wisdom that's coming in. You can trust that wisdom. Each of us has at least one guardian angel, and it's an angel that is specifically assigned to us. And so your guardian angel is always with you. Angels like to be invited. So you do need to talk with and ask your angels to work with you and for you. Ask them for help. You can activate the angel energy around you with the color white, with white candles, white paper, white clothing. And your guardian angel is always there. Now, the energy of your guardian angel is very subtle. And I've heard it described as though if you were comparing the energy of an archangel or a guardian angel to a spirit guide, the angel energy is more like your school guidance counselor. There's a softness, a gentleness, kind of suggestions that come through where your spirit guides, when they come in, it's a little bit more forceful. It's more like a coach. And so that spirit guide energy is going to come in fully formed, probably like a sentence that you hear or know. And then you still have free will. You still have the choice of to do it or not. But your spirit guides will be much more insistent than your angels. However, your angels are always willing to help you, but they do want to be invited. Now, the energy that I'm tracking here also is that you're feeling anxious, you're feeling a little bit restless, you're feeling the burden of some different things. And in that energy, not all of that is yours. You're carrying energy and heaviness from other people and from other situations. So you might want to do some clearing kinds of things. Maybe that means taking salt baths or having some smudge, some sage or Palo Santo in your space or around your body. But the salt thing is coming through much more loudly than anything else. So take some salt baths. You can even sprinkle salt on your door frame or underneath your welcome mat, and that can be really, really helpful. Let's see. It feels like your energy is going to be restored. You're going to start to feel better. You're going to release that anxiety when you begin to take care of yourself a little more deeply. And I know you're already really into self-care. I know you're doing that. And so I want to acknowledge, I know you're doing it. We need to shift how you're doing it just a little bit. Yes, it's the things that you're already doing, and it's the journaling, the creating time to reflect. That's going to be really, really important. And then the other piece of this message that's coming through, even before we really start digging into cards, is that this energy of completion is both celebratory in the sense you did it, you completed it, and it's an invitation to examine what's happening with your relationship with change. Are you allowing change to come through? Are you ushering the changes in, or are you blocking and resisting the change? Because whatever has completed for you, now it needs to move on to the next chapter, and that is going to bring in some change. And so there's some big energy here around it's time to do the thing. It's time to do the thing. And to really look at what is your relationship with change, and invitation to do some nervous system shifting so you can feel safer in the change. That might mean breath work. It might be like EFT tapping. Um, it might be reaching out for a session with either me or somebody else that you trust. So, what's your relationship with change? And now we're going to dive into my favorite deck of cards. It's currently, anyway, it's the Angels and Oracle. Oh, I can't talk. Angels and Auras Oracle card deck by Radley Valentine and Dougal Fraser. I love this one. Um, so Okay, this is interesting. So my watch just buzzed, and anything that happens in a reading is part of the reading. And my watch buzzed with a Kindle notification. So there's a book that you already have or that you've been thinking about purchasing this is confirmation you need that book. So if you haven't purchased it, invitation to get it. If you have it, start reading it. Oh, this is, of course, the card that came out for us. It's angels are watching over you. Your angels are right there with you. You are supported and protected and loved and encouraged. And if you want to see what the card looks like, I'm going to post this on YouTube. So, hey, YouTubers, nice to see you. Leave a comment. Let me know how this found you and if it was supportive. Let's do one more card from this deck, and then I'm going to riff for the last couple minutes of our. Okay, already something's coming through about being paid. So you've been telling yourself probably that you want to earn more money or be paid better. There's a reminder that your worth is a lot more. And there's also a reminder that this should not be some random thing where you set a price on something. And this is true for you whether you work for somebody else or you're self-employed. This should be something that you back into to make sure that your whatever price or salary or revenue, whatever that is for you, is making it so that you can meet your living expenses. If it doesn't meet your living expenses, invitation to shift it so that it does. Maybe that means taking on extra work. Maybe that means looking for a different job. Maybe that means raising your prices. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs and conscious creators, and this is coming through really loud for you. Please look at your prices. Do not randomly set a price on something. Look at your expenses. Look at what does it take for you to deliver the highest quality that you can deliver. And what do you want to be paid? And what can you be paid without being resentful that you have spent your time in that way? And then set your price. And I'm also tracking that you do a lot of healing work. And this healing work comes in a lot of different flavors, right? It could be that you're a physician, could be you're a Reiki healer or a sound healer or a nurse or even a teacher. And so the thing that you're really coming up against is you want to help everybody and you want to be very inclusive in your pricing. Find a different way to be inclusive. Offer free content, offer giveaways, donate or your time for a volunteer thing, but do not give away your work because it's not actually helping in the way that you think. And the reason it's not helping in the way that you think is if you're giving things away, there's a point at which the recipient can no longer accept your gift because there's no energy exchange. And so even if you offer like the best therapy session ever, or the best Reiki energy healing session ever, or the best sound healing session of your life, they can't receive the healing because there's no energy exchange. And so this comes back to that pricing. What is the energy exchange that you're willing to make that feels really good to you? And this also applies to you if you're working for somebody else. I mean, it is the energy exchange feel fair? And if not, plot your course to something that feels fair. If that means you need to leave the state that you're in, find a way to do that. If that means you need to find a different job, find a way to do that. But stop accepting things that are beneath your worth. And listen to what I'm saying and what I'm not saying. I'm not saying get paid what you're worth. That's not a thing I subscribe to. I am saying figure out how much you value your time and what you want to be paid, and then back into it to make sure your expenses are covered too. Okay, that was a weird, unexpected, random thing. And the last card that came up for this is, it's the Blessing in Disguise card, but it came out in reverse. And in this specific deck, the Blessing in Disguise card, when it comes in reverse, means that you're feeling, it's your expectations. The thing that's coming through for you is not what you're expecting. And you're holding tightly on to the expected outcome is what's delaying the thing from coming in the way you want. So, invitation to let go of trying to control the outcome, broaden your expectations, go back to something a little bit more general. It feels like you've been very, very specific about what you're calling in. And while it's good to be specific about what you're calling in this particular case, it's delaying the blessing because you're trying to control the outcome. So how can you make it a little bit more general so that when it comes in, you can recognize it for the blessing that it really is? Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today on this short episode of Your Yes Filled Life. If you want me to do more like this, let me know. Communicate with me. Send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook. TikTok is my current fave right now. I got to say, I'm really enjoying it over there. And I'm doing readings several times a week. And so if you want more general readings, come on over. And if you didn't like this, if you're like, no, Brenda, don't do this again, tell me that too. Because I really want this to be a show that is for you, that is really, really beneficial. So if you would like to work with me, I mentioned at the beginning, one of the pros of working with me is I have all this background in leadership. I have all this background in business, but with my abilities, I can also see things that other people can't see. And so there are two ways that you can work with me. One is you can join the Spiritual Entrepreneur Collective, which is a membership for spiritual entrepreneurs and conscious creators who want to create change in the world in sustainable ways. And this is going to simplify what you've been doing. We're going to talk about all the things like pricing and how to set energetic boundaries with clients and all the things that are probably feeling a little bit hard and heavy so that they feel less hard and heavy so you can actually go do the work you want to do. This is not a huge time commitment. We meet twice a month for 1 hour for our breathwork call and for 90 minutes for our coaching call that includes laser coaching. And it's a great way to have access to me at a very affordable price. It's $111 a month or $1,111 per year, where you save 2 months free. The other way that you can work with me is to come to the Reset Retreat, which will be in March of 2026. And this is perfect for you if you are a spiritual entrepreneur or conscious creator who's ready for your next level, whether that means the new offer that you've been planning, or maybe it's the new project that you've been planning. Not only are you going to get energy healing and breathwork healing and live coaching, you're also going to get a community and you're going to have expert guidance by me and my friend, Kathy Kearns, owner of Reiki Renewal. She's coming to the retreat with me. I'm so excited. And you're going to have an opportunity to have some time to implement and work right there at the retreat on your project and get real-time feedback from other people doing this work too. So if that feels appealing to you, you'll need to apply. It's a very highly curated container. There are 10 spots total. 2 have been taken. So there's 8 spots left at the Reset Retreat. And I'm going to close enrollment for that in early January. So get your application in and come join us out in Lincoln City on the Oregon coast. It's one of the most beautiful little towns in Oregon. and white sandy beaches. And it has some of the best tidal pools on the West Coast, where you can actually go into a marine garden and see the starfish and the sea anemones. And it's just magical. So I'll put that link there. Thank you so much for joining me on Your Yes Filled Life. If you enjoyed this episode, would you please share it with someone you care about and leave the podcast your rating and review? Bye for now. Until next time.